Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, Bala.
So here, when it's getting called, so these are the max values grouped by a industry. So for each industry, what is the maximum value? So here, when I do a direct, so it is grouped by each industry. So I have energy. So energy, I have what is the value max is this one. Sorry. So for energy, I have this value, and then next one is something education, I guess. So we will do a better debug here. That is, I want to know for which industry it is. So I'll add industry plus. So all I was trying to explain here was if you have a other it's already a name, so we can use this field name to extract the value. If you're having any of the aggregate values, then we can use the alias name. Using the alias name also, we can get this aggregate result for that row, and then you can check. And the other method is you can use the indexing of it. So I will show again. So how to use the indexing for that. So appeal, this is the max value. Education, this is the max value. For electronics, this is the value for the similar one. Let's say if I don't use a alias, and if I try to execute, definitely it will be a fail because I not given any alias name to it. So you get some error like this. So how we can use in this scenario was we don't need to use alias all the time. So we have a other way of using the indexing, that is a um, start with 0. Sorry, I was using a single quotes. Index directly we can use. It's not a string, so we can give me a second. Sorry, can you hear me? So we
Yes,
have
Bala.
to, this is not an index, so it has to use a expression. So using this expression expr followed by a index 0, 1 like that. So when you have this one, again, still, I guess it will refer to the type. But let's have a look. Work, continue. Okay. Then select. So this is also a without using alias, we can use this expression. What is expression 0 also to get the aggregate values. So it will be other than fields. If you are having any of these expressions like max, min, average, or any of your functions you're having, i- all this function will be indexed as a expression 0 and then 1, 2, 3 like that. It will be followed. Let's say I'm going to have min as well, min of annual revenue. Then we can use this as a expression 1. So mostly we're having the same data. We don't have much data. So that's why we're getting the same value for all, or I did the right, I write a code like that. Just let me confirm. Yeah, we have a different values only. So instead of min, let me use a sum. Maybe sum also may be having the same value, but let's see. Again, we're having almost similar values only we have. Okay. The thing was, basic thing I was trying to do was, so you can either use the alias names or you can use this expression 0, 1, all this aggregate functions. You can use this expression to extract the values from the aggregate queries. So what else we have? Mix, min, count, average, sum, and a count district. So here count district distinct we it will just return the unique number of records with that value. Okay, any questions over here? So then let me show you. Average will also give decimal result over here, and distinct count would be of type integer. So let me just give an example over here so that we can move on to the next one. Minimum of annual revenue, and sum we have, and average also we have, and then count distinct of any of the field that is let's say any other field on the account. It's okay, I'll take account number as well. Distinct account number fields. Okay, we can split into multiple lines also. If we have more here, just I split into the multiple lines the query. So I have all the values. So the first value will be indexed as expression 0, then expression 1 and 2, 3, 4. Integer. This will be of integer data type we can give. Expression was fifth one, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next one. It's going to be of integer data type. Okay, to start with 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has to be expression 4 because it starts with the 0. So you can see these unique numbers are of integer data. So this is how we can extract the aggregate queries. So the return type would be based on this data type. It depends. It could be decimal or integer. All values that we have in the field types like currency or a number, everything is of decimal data type. So whatever the function you use, max, sum, min, average, all the return types is going to be a decimal data types. And all this, like if you do a pick list text, everything is going to be a string data type. Only if you have any date fields, that is only will be having kind of date. And we will explain in more detail of date functions. And then if you have a count or a distinct count, the return type would be a number of records that it's going to be a count. So the return type of it would be a integer data type. Okay, any questions over here? So we can use this expression to be extracted using the alias name or using the expression index. It could be starting with 0, expr 0, expr 1, expr 2, 3, 4. Okay, any questions here? Okay. Jumping onto the date functions and date filters. So for we are saying like normal filters, like it could be a some decimal value and string values or pick list values. Directly we are giving a sorry, directly we are giving the text value in a where conditions. Let's say if I have any like numerical filter like annual revenue, I want to do a filter, or like sorry, if you have numerical or any other data type, then how we are going to filter those. So this is one of the data type. And let's say if you want to filter on a annual revenue, annual revenue equal to first I will see what are values available, then we'll filter. Account. Just setting all the values from the account. I have the values. Now we want to filter only with the one value. Let's say this is what I was looking for, and I want to filter on the annual revenue. While we are filtering with any other industry type or name, we're using a single quotes, right? But when we use any of this, sorry, any of this numerical type, then we have to use it directly. We will not use single quotes. So we have 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to directly use this number. So it should not be any single quotes, anything like that. So let me find out if we have any of the Boolean or checkbox data type. So we have a is customer portal. So is customer portal is of a checkbox data type, checkbox field, and in the backend it will be having a true or false value. So how we can apply a filter to the this kind of field is, again, we should not use any single quotes, whether you can use directly true or false values. Okay, we will not use a single quote for this. Similarly, when we have so pick list text, long text, anything that you're going to apply is in single quotes only. All the data type in the backend or in a string data types only, they will be saved in. So if you have a date or date time filters where we have a different filter options available. So if I have a date, let's say we have a created date is one of the date time field, a standard field, or we can say a system field also, and removing this conditions. created date. So I have this created date. If you look at this a format of the created date, if you want to use exactly the same, then we have to use this format. I have to use where created date equal to exactly same format, and you can use a query because all of them are in the same. So if you have only one record over here, you are doing it. But if you have just, I'm cutting this one. So if you look at the format, how it was is year, then month, then date, and then the time zone will be hours, minutes, seconds, and milliseconds, followed by the jet. This is how the directly was. So it's really hard to look at all this. So what we can do, let's say I wanted to look data which is in like last year, like this year or this week. We have a different date filters available, which will be without using this kind of a syntax or format of date. It's really hard to look at in a specific date range. So we can use this date filter functions to filter on a specific dates. So I think we have a project object where we have more known data. So let us use that, and we have more date fields as well in that. So in this, we have one created date, and then followed by modified date, and the name, approved date, end date, start time, state stage. Yes, I was using some fields over here to use. So I have some date fields over here, which is in the month of November and October. I have yeah, these 2 months mostly I'm having, and similarly this project end date also mostly in the December I have. So let's apply some filters on a project start date. I'll just keep a project start date only. It will be easy for me. Now, we have a different rate functions. Let's say I want to filter the project start date equal to today. A simple function. I don't have any start date as today date, so I don't have it. So let me quickly make change to some project dates or create some project date with today's date. First I will clone. Where's my project start date? I want to give some data as today's date. If I do a query, see, I got one record, which is a today's date. Let's say if I have some more project, which is in the yesterday's, but some validation. Let me remove those validations. I'm inactivating the validation rules on the start date. So yesterday also one date. So if I want to use yesterday keyword so that I can filter the dates which are the yesterday date, we can use. Similarly, tomorrow also we can use a keyword. I don't have any record, I guess. So I can make some records which are the tomorrow date. So you will get the record with the tomorrow date. Let's say not a specific day. I want to look at the range. Let's say I want to look at this week. So the keyword will be this underscore week, so that I can filter on the entire this week. So I have today, tomorrow, and yesterday. So I have a 3 records I made, and all those 3 are coming into the this week range. When I'm saying this week, it would be starting from Sunday to a Saturday. And similarly, if I have anything on last week, that would be exactly the previous week. I don't have any records. Let me make some records which I don't have in the date. So I want to make not this week. So it will be starting from a Sunday to Saturday. So if I do a last week, some records, you can see some records with the last weeks. Similarly, if I want to do the next week, so this is the current week and or this week. So I want to make some records in the next week. So with the common keywords is going to be a this, last, next. To use the, it could be a week, or this could be a month, or this could be a year. So and simply you can see yesterday, today, tomorrow, last week, this week, next week, last month, this month, next month. Similarly, we have the same thing for year as well. You can say this year. So it will be like more or easy to understand, but all you need to know was what should be the possible ways. You can use week, month, year, and even you can use the quarter also. A quarter means 3 months together. It could be this month. I can use last quarter, this quarter, and next quarter. So these are all like what we can do using the this, next, and last features. So we have to remember they are separated with the underscore, and it's not a case sensitive. You can use a small or capital or mixed also. It doesn't matter. It's a case insensitive. And now coming to last and next n number of days. So this one is, let's say first we'll take example of a last n days. Last n days colon 2 days. So if you look at this, what I can say, if you look at this query, so it's saying last n number of days. Last n days. Error bind variables, or there should not be a space maybe. Okay,
I think the last spelling is wrong.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, you're right. So we can use this last n days or like next n number of days. So if you think, if you see there, look at the date also, it's saying last or next 10 days. So when you're saying last and next days, it will not include today's date. If it's the last 1 day, that is yesterday. Last 2 days means it including both yesterday and day before yesterday. When it's saying last, next means it would be next dates. That means, so if you have a date, so when you're referring to a next 4 days, that means it would be a 5, 6, sorry, what is the current day? It's the 29th, right? So if 29th is the current day, if you writing as a next 4 days, then it will be a 30, 31, 1, and 2 will be considered. All this data with these 4 dates will be included in the next n days. Similarly, last 10 days also, it will not include the current one. Similarly, when you have a months, next n months, so let's next one n months and saying 1 in this query, what will happen was it will ignore the current month and it will look for the anything that is on the next month. That is, let's say today month is December. If you're saying next n months 1, that means the immediate month, that is going to be a whole January month. Okay, similarly, last means it will ignore the first month, current month, and then the previous month only it will take. Okay, any questions over here? Similar for days, weeks, months, quarters, everything will be it will be repeated, the keywords, but you can use as last and next n keyword to use it. Okay, so if you're good here, I will move on to the one more date functions. If you have any questions before moving on to that, please ask.